first recorded ice hockey match at varsity level was in St Moritz in 1885, when Oxford and Cambridge clashed heads on the ice. That was recognised as the first varsity ice hockey match by the IIHF, the International Hockey Federation. To that day, ice hockey has grown in the UK, with more and more universities taking up the sport and giving the opportunity for players to experience this thrilling sport. Two of the biggest varsity rivals in the country are Sheffield and Nottingham, where local rivals within each city take place every year to determine the best on the ice. Indeed, the Nottingham Varsity Series, which started in 2004, also known as the Charity Varsity Series, is one of the biggest varsity events in the UK. A number of different sports are competed against within each university, from basketball to rugby to American football to field hockey and to racket sports. But the showpiece of this particular series has always been the ice hockey. Within Nottingham, the University of Nottingham students and the Nottingham Trent University students play in a combined team for the season known as the Nottingham Mavericks. But once a year, those rivalries are renewed when the University of Nottingham students and the Trent students clash on the ice here at the Motorpoint Arena. Over the last 10 years, these matchups have seen the series tied 5-5. And although this evening's event isn't the actual first team varsity, it gives the other players among the squad the opportunity to take to the ice representing their colours. So, the seconds against the seconds, the University of Nottingham students versus the Nottingham Trent University students. So I'm lucky enough here to have both coaches from the University of Nottingham and from Trent. I've got Coach Clark, evening, and I've got Coach Guest, evening. And we'll try and get a bit of an insight into what's going to go on this evening. So first of all, gents, obviously this is the battle of knots rather than true varsity, but what does varsity mean to the players from both sides?
I think it's an idea to showcase the sport. I think if you look at varsity as a whole, it's a lot smaller in other areas. In America, it's very big. Whereas you look in the UK, we're trying to grow the sport and we're trying to get people involved. And this is the best way you can bring people to universities. It's the best way you can showcase it, really. And
from a varsity perspective, for you personally, what experience have you had and what does varsity particularly mean for you?
It gives you the opportunity to get your own back on some of the guys that you've been playing with all season. It is a nice break in the middle of the season to obviously have that time away and focus on something other than the league. And it's good for the competition, I think, between the guys.
Now, obviously, the varsity series is run along lots of different sports, but the ice hockey version, Uni of and Trent students play for the same team in regular season, the Mavericks. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Mavericks and how the rivalry that we'll see on the ice today is put aside and comes together when the Mavericks take the ice.
Yeah, definitely. It's always going to be a tough one when these guys are together for sort of 6, 8, 9 months and then they split apart for one game. There's obviously a lot of individual rivalry that's going to come to the floor. I guess with our season, the squad, it goes from bad to good every year. I think the cycle of players always changes. The last few years we've had some really good professional players from Germany, Canada, America come over, and this year everything's unfortunately not going as good as in previous years. So it swings and roundabouts and it all goes on the cycle, really.
So for this game this evening, we've got the seconds out tonight, is that, yeah? And even though they're all part of the Mavericks, you two guys as coaches, will you bring your own style to the ice tonight, or will it be very much replicate what we see with the Mavericks?
We are going to bring a different style. Obviously, having worked as assistants and head coach together before, we do sort of know what's going on between each other in terms of what tactics we're going to play. This is the opportunity where I like to pull something a little bit different out of the bag and surprise Reese and his team. It's the same for a few of the guys. They're going to know what each other are playing about, but I reckon a few of them got something up their sleeve tonight.
Will that go the same for you, Coach? You've got some tricks for the Uni of guys?
Yeah, certainly. These guys very rarely play check-in hockey, so you'll see quite a lot of aggression out on the ice. You'll see a lot of bumping out there, so hopefully it will be good from other people's perspective to see something a bit different, really.
So usually when I do these interviews with the other sports that we cover, we've got coaches individually, and this question almost is without one knowing what the other is, but what are the keys to victory for the University of Nottingham this evening?
I think for myself and my team, we've got to play quite a defensive a game tonight. Reese has got a lot of very strong players on his team, a lot of quick guys that can shoot the puck and drive hard, and we've got to try and shut them down.
And for Trent?
Yeah, I think ours is the complete opposite of that, really. Ours is solely about possession, it's solely about aggression on the puck. So we're going to try and control the game for the vast majority of the night and then pick the chances out and hopefully convert them into goals, really.
anybody who's new to hockey, obviously we've got the Olympics going on at the moment, and there's a real competitive, particularly the men's game. I think the women's game lining up for the US and Canada, I think, in the final. What should we be looking for in particular players? Any particular players we should look out for tonight from Trent?
Certainly, I think there's the mental aspect of the game and there's the physical aspects of the game. So you'll see some people out there that are a physical presence, but actually, like what you said there, if they don't understand the mental capacity to read and react to the game, that's going to change what sort of result we get. So probably one player in particular for Trent would be Tom Gell. He's the big guy out there, so he's probably a good guy to look out for, really.
Okay. And as far as the University of Nottingham are concerned, any stars out there to look out for tonight?
I'd say our starting netminder, Luke Thornton. He's going to be dictating the game in terms of his presence on the ice. He's going to be commanding to the guys in front, and he's going to be controlling them and making sure they do as he wants.
So obviously, being from Nottingham as I am, we're very fortunate to have this arena and obviously the home of the Panthers here. Any youngsters who may have been watching the Olympic game or indeed wanting to get involved with the sport, have you got any tips or any advice for how they might well get into that? We'll go with both of you, but indeed, how did you guys start?
Yeah, so I started from a kid. There's a lot of really good learn to play programs here, so we're lucky with it being the home of the Panthers. There's a lot of homegrown talent, there's a lot of grassroots programs to get involved in. James, obviously I don't want to speak for him, but he started when he was at university. We focus a lot on the beginners, and this is the result of the game today, really. Trying to get people involved from that grassroots level to build the sport. Football's obviously very different, where you've got a big structure throughout, where you can bring players through, and I think starting at that grassroots level, like you say, is going to help our elite team in the Olympics in the future, really.
And obviously then, just in contrary to that, if Coach Clark started as a youngster, you didn't pick it up till university level. So what made you turn to hockey at that age?
I'd obviously always enjoyed it, but I never realised that I could just come down the rink and actually learn. I didn't realise that there was programs available. A lot of that has changed now. There's a lot of, like Reece says, learn to play programs, a lot of the grassroots, skate hockey, all run by the rink here, and it's really good. Just get involved, and it's open to everybody.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time, but before you go, let's have a score prediction from both of you. Okay, so we'll go with the Trent contingent first.
I'm going to go for 7-2 in favour of Trent. So
7-2 in favour of Trent. So I believe the last few have been very much closer, particularly the 4-3 affairs is that over the last few years. So from the University of Nottingham perspective?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
2-1 win. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us. I hope it's as enjoyable for you as it will be for us. And all being well, we'll catch up with you maybe after the game. All right, thanks very much. Cheers. As I mentioned, the last 10 encounters have seen the series split 5 apiece, with the University of Nottingham students currently in the ascendancy, having won the last 4. The last time NTU was successful was back in 2012. So tonight, the second squads will look to put that right for the players in pink. This is a mix of men and women trying to assert their dominance on the ice, and it should be a great encounter. So without further ado, let's head upstairs. We'll hand you over to our commentary team, Mitch Ford, but first, George Lees.
Thank you, Matt. You join us with face-off just minutes away with what is surely to be a hotly contested game. The teams have just come out back onto the ice after a quick practice warm-up. They're just going through the numbers now, and we'll just be leaving you for a second for the national anthem. This evening we're graced with the presence of Mitch Ford, former player coach at the Bradford Sabres. He's kindly travelled up to Nottingham all the way from Birmingham, so not too far away. How are you doing this evening, Mitch?
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
You looking forward to it?
Oh yes, definitely should be a competitive game tonight for us.
Yeah, so this is what they call the Battle of the North. So we have the second and third tier players of the Mavericks. For those of you that don't know, the Mavericks are a combined team between the University of Nottingham, Nottingham Trent, Loughborough, Derby and Leicester as well. But tonight we are graced with the pretty and pink NTU and those gold and green boys and girls down there, the University of Nottingham. For many of these players tonight it will be their first checking game, which is obviously a big factor. Mitch, Obviously, you probably played both throughout your time. Just tell us the difference.
I have played both, and it is a massive difference in style of play. With the checking games, it's hard hitting, it's a lot faster paced. The non-checking, you've got to use your time well, knowing that you can't use that body as much. The stick work has to be right on point.
So, we're just heading down to the ice now for the start of the game. So U of N won that, going into the offensive third already. To start off this game, I think it'd be fair to say that they'll try and find the weak points and just test the ice, I suppose. And just find some fractures in the defense early. Some loose puck control just to start off with. With it being the second and third teams, it is likely to be a little bit slower, as these guys, some of these players have really only just started this year. But we've got Gell skating down the ice, should I say?
Just got caught on an offside play there. Nice short shift from the first line.
So for those people that are watching at home, for many it may be the first ice hockey game, just watching family and friends playing. So between myself and Mitch, we'll try and explain the rules and what's going on. So as Mitch has rightly pointed out, we just had an offside, so the game restarts with a face-off. So number 19 for the NTU Renegades there on the puck, McNally. That's Porter just picking it up in the centre field. NTU still got the puck in a decent field position. I suppose you don't call it field position, do you?
No, mainly just referred to the ice.
We'll call it the ice.
Very important battles behind the netting in those corners.
So as a player, what are you trying to get in the first couple minutes? What are you trying to find?
As you pointed out, you want to try and find that fracture in the defence, that chink in the armour. Are they giving anything away? At the moment, very early days to try and call anything.
Oh, and a big hit there from McNally on number 1 for the U of N. That's Callum Donnelly hitting the boards. I think they're going to call that, are they?
Looks like a boarding call.
So
first hit thrown of the game, drew first blood. I think that's going to start it off very nicely.
Yeah, some early hits for the fans there. They were enjoying it, and Donnelly's gone down again. A clatter of sticks with his own teammate there, number 17. Looks like the Renegades, NTU, have won that. It's number 8, Crystal Wilkins, picking up the puck at the back of the... and another big hit coming in there.
Difficult 2 minutes ahead now. They're going to try and essentially play keep away. Icing is nullified when the team is short-handed, so they're just going to try and clear that puck up ice as much as possible.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know the sport at all, U of N have now got what they call a power play situation. So for 2 minutes, well, depending on the penalty call, the NTU will have one less player on the ice, giving a substantial bonus. Having said that, there's a breakaway here. It's well covered by U of N, giving substantial bonus to those with more on the ice. Again, control's a little bit sloppy just to start off this game as they find their groove. Cleared away there by NTU from behind their goal line. NTU just trying to find a way to kill the clock on this power play. 13 seconds remaining. Right. Got number 27 for NTU just returned to the ice, Amy Hollingsworth. Another clatter against the boards. You can see these players are really enjoying this new allowance of the check for them. Trying to get some contact early. Right up on the boards again. It's Hollingsworth with the pass into centre field. Looks like Gell beaten one. Luke Thornton, we've been told, is a player to watch out for today. He is the netminder for the U of N. Very talented young minder. He was the deciding factor in last year's matchup.
Great breakaway chance here. Fantastic.
And that's an
Top
early
shelf.
goal for U of N. And that's a little bit of a surprise from what we spoke to of the coaches. U of N looking to play a more defensive game with NTU going in for the more aggressive kill. And against the grain of play, U of N have got it.
It was its fantastic first shot on net. That shoot first mentality in that situation really was the great call. Coming in, one player down, it was a 2-on-3. Shoot first, try and get the rebounds.
Yeah,
no need for that this time.
Laurie Whitehead there with his first shot of the game and the first goal of the game.
That's definitely going to spark a bit of blood boiling from the UON side.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're going to want to try and get that goal back as soon as possible.
Will Clark there with the board pass. Cross. Again, the sticks are a little bit all over the place, but I suppose how long, I mean, as a player, that was a nice shot there, and it's just ricocheted off the goaltender, Luke Thornton. How long did it take you to get used to playing this game, to get that stick control, and obviously the control on your skates as well?
Well, of course, the hardest part of playing ice hockey is skating. It's not a natural phenomenon, and unlike most sports,
out there, but McNally has made the pass.
Great defensive effort there,
yeah,
but
great defensive effort.
It was in vain. Play still alive. I think holding possession a little bit too long there.
Yeah, Eva Harrison clearing the lines for UN. Goaltender's touch that, so it's not going to be an icing call. That's McNally on the boards going in. Some of the better skill
Great
we've seen so far today, and he's gonna. Oh, and it's well defended. McNally there just getting up in frustration, kicking out his skates. U of N have got a real good chance there with McNally, and he's missed. It's Whitehead again.
The whistle blows for an icing call.
Yep, first icing call of the game. So you were saying it's one of the hardest parts of this is trying to find your feet.
Of course, yeah. Unlike most sports where, you know, you can give it a good go, you can pick it up, the movement isn't an issue, you use it day to day. Ice skating, one of those things, takes a long time. On top of that, trying to control a stick, very, very difficult.
Does the stick help you with your balance?
The stick, yeah, you can lean on the stick for a certain amount. It gives you that little bit of stability. But once you start getting more comfortable with it, you want to try and keep that out of the way.
So NTU have got it again behind the goal line. Thornton puts his hand on there, so it will go back to a face-off.
Well covered there. The defenseman not quite reading the play. Safest bet, just freeze it.
It's NTU winning the face-off there to Dealey. And again, Thornton just deflecting that shot away. Playing some very close hockey, to say the least. Not so spread, not in defence or on the offensive side of things. That's Pitcher skating down the ice, and he's taken 2. He's
fantastic
going to get the
effort.
shot off, and that's another goal.
What a goal.
Number 12 for UON, Harry Pilcher, with really what was quite an easy breakaway goal once he got through that first defensive line.
That's it. It's a fantastic individual effort to manage to get past the defenseman early.
It doesn't quite appear that NTU have awoken yet. So we'll see if they can pull it back. They've gone down 2 scores early. We're only 12:51 left of the first period, so not quite through halfway of the first period, really. So we'll see what they can do. Coach Clark of NTU has called a timeout to see if he can spark up his team. Coach Guest down there will be absolutely over the moon. As he said in pre-game interviews, he was really looking to play a more defensive game, and here he is in less than 8 minutes, two scores up.
2 goals in the first period. NTU not utilising the extra players they have on their bench.
So the teams are heading back out onto the ice.
Hopefully that short timeout help them clear their heads. Oh, we've got the gloves dropped.
Gloves are dropped, mitts are off.
Referees are letting it go so far.
It's Pilcher.
Oh, both throwing rock'em, sock'em, boxing, right hands going.
Nice headshots there. It's Pilcher versus Eddie Bullock there. And they're both down on the ice, and the officials will try and split this up. And the crowd in here is absolutely wild for that.
That's it, get the crowd going.
Yeah, and there you go. And both players will be off the ice, so they will have a few minutes to breathe, a few minutes to recover from that fight. And I believe for a first fight offence, it's a 5-minute penalty.
Well, we'll see what the referees decide to call. With this being a game between the 2 teams, everyone's friends here, we'll see what they decide to call on the ice.
See how the officials are going to play this.
Typically the university leagues are far stricter with the fighting rules. It's something they've tried to wean out of the sport at the moment. Whether that will hold true today, we'll have to see.
So with the fighting rule, the teams keep the same amount of players on the ice.
Yeah, both teams will be even-handed despite being players down.
Start there with another face-off.
No penalties thrown up on the board yet.
See, I don't suppose they've forgotten about the 2 guys in the box. So U of N in the attacking third again, but it looks like NTU have recovered. And that's 11 for NTU. Sean Wright, who I have been informed may be a target of some aggressive behaviour tonight. And that is Sean Wright again. And that's going to be a penalty. So as you've seen right there, that's a full line shift during an ice hockey game. Well, there's hundreds, well not quite hundreds of shifts, but every sort of 30 seconds to 45 seconds, players will be rotated on and off the ice. It's a rolling substitution.
That's right. Such an intensive sport, you've got to keep everyone's legs fresh. An offside call there.
A little bit unfortunate there. Just seemed to lose control of his stick. Puck just beat him across that blue line. Okay. Another face-off to start. UON have got it in a decent field position again, but that may have been a tripping call. But, got away with that. I think because this game gets on, these officials are going to let some of them slide.
Another offside call there. Bit of lack of communication between the players before exiting the zone.
Just Just a little bit of flicking those pucks around and flicking the sticks, swinging and batting at air really, and it's just causing a little bit of chaos on that offensive line. Bell there with a nice, Gell there with a nice takeaway, nice breakaway. It's picked up by number 87, Matthew Farmer, UON. And that'll be Whitehead just trying to flick it back upfield. UON just looking to clear their defensive area. Oh, and another little hit there. Both players going down. And Eva Harrison with the puck. Again, just trying to get used to that checking, as we said earlier. For some of these players, it is the first time they've been allowed to body check.
That's right, it's a very different play style, and it's something that you really need to acclimatise to. However, both teams seem to be settling into it quite well.
And that's McNally with a nice, Luke Thornton there with a very, very nice save.
Fantastic save.
Oh, a little bit of scuffling there. It's like 97 there for NTU, just off his feet, Will Clark. And another cheeky little body check. Clash of sticks there. And that's McNally, and Thornton will end that play.
Great hustle there in front of the goalie, screening his vision, getting that body in the way, try and take his visibility away.
It sounds like the stadium announcer's just gone to call who might be in here, and it sounds like there's a lot of NTU players, fans, coaches, everybody's here tonight, I think, for the pink. Thornton again will stop that play dead. A little bit of scuffles again from Pullman and McNally.
Just reminding him to leave his goalkeeper alone when he's down on the ice.
So in your playing days, what position were you playing?
I spent my first couple of seasons as a defenceman, and more recently taking the role as a winger.
Oh, and it looked like NTU had got it in a nice way, but they've got a 2-on-1 now, U of N. Oh, and it's well stopped there by NTU. McNally just trying to clear his lines, but U of N has still got it in that offensive zone, going behind the net. And
well frozen by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well stopped there by the goaltender. So Paul Watts is NTU's goaltender tonight. Not the greatest start you'd want as a goaltender.
Of course not. It's very easy to put your head down early on after conceding two.
UON coming away with that puck. Now NTU's Lucas Boone will look to clear that puck away.
Very risky play, deciding to go across the goal crease.
That's Dealey going down the sideline. Or the sideboard, should I say.
Getting that puck in deep, try and work some magic behind the net.
Yeah, Dan Gilbert just trying to find a way through. Dealey looking like he may have taken a slight knock there, just calling for a substitution. Number 20 comes on, Sasha Carter. U of N have just about got there to get it out, but it's picked up by NTU in the centre field. Cater there, passing to Gilbert. It's gone all the way across there. Going to get the shot away. Gilbert just scrambling in front of the net. And Thornton has stopped that. He's called that dead.
Again, not a difficult shot to stop, but with all the confusion in front of the net, very easily distracted by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, scrambled goals and rebounds. For a lot of teams, that's where they'll be looking to score, maybe not off the initial shot.
That's exactly right. The bread and butter of most hockey games. You work hard in front of the net, you'll get rewarded for it.
Got to put that hustle in, that effort, just like any sport.
Exactly right.
It's 55. Jacob Werner just looking to clear his lines, but he's only got it to the red line. Those two fighters have been returned to the ice. It will just go straight off into the subs box though. UN will be looking to win another face-off. Just switching out there. NTU have got it. And it looks like Porter there is going to try and make something of this. That's 11, Sean Wright. Trying to get that shot off, and again, an easy save for Thornton. NTU really haven't pressured that net yet. We've not seen a clear shot. I say clear shot, I mean anything with any real conviction. As we've seen from U of N's, certainly the second goal was a thunderous shot. NTU really haven't found that groove yet on offense.
This is true. No thunderous shots yet, but they are working well in front of that net. Thornton isn't having an easy game, put it that way.
So no pressure there from UON. NTU will look to make something of this. So Gell looking a little bit lost. 77 for U of N. Eva Harrison, she wins another puck battle there. And again, stop the play, Paul Watts. Go off for another face-off. See what happens. It's early days still. I know we're getting towards the end of that first period. Nobody other than those first two initial goals has really stepped forward to sort of look a clear favourite. UON behind the net. It's just bounced up there. 22 there. Ollie Stick working very hard in defence to try and get that puck. And that's McNally there with the chance. And it's been stopped well there by number 5, Hugh Coleman.
Looks like we're going to get an icing call here.
And that will be going back into UON's defensive zone.
NTU abusing the fact that they can make a change on the icing. However, the team that initiate the icing have to stay out on the ice.
So how difficult is it? Obviously, we said earlier, 30 to 45 seconds, but some of these guys on an icing call may have to stay out there for, what, a minute and a half?
At the very least, if NTU keep this pressure up and they're forced to keep dumping that puck out, they could be out there for several minutes at a time.
Oh, a little fight there on the boards. Race there to get that puck.
Oh, fantastic effort. Both players not letting up to get to that puck.
Great effort. It's great to see for these guys who, as we've already said, aren't used to that physicality of the checking rules to really utilise it in that situation. Adili looked like he was going to get away there, but it has been cleared away. Oh, and he's misfired there. And that's going to hit NTU in the centre field. They'll look to start something now. NTU over the last minute or so have really picked up the pace. And we'll see what we can do. Porter there. Oh, he's just lost control. Oh, and that was a nice shot. It wasn't quite on target.
It was a great effort, just wide. Tight angle to shoot from. The goalkeeper not giving much view of that net.
Porter looking for Dealey there in close quarters, but couldn't quite find him. Looking across for Dealey again, straight across the face of the net.
Lots of time here. Get that shot off.
Just wide, right wide.
This is what NTU need though. Keep that pressure up.
Yeah, you'll get that reward if you keep that pressure up. Porter really doing well for a defenseman, finding him up in that top third, deep in the top third. He's done ever so well, but he's just slipped up there. He'll run back to try and face that puck and clear it up.
UON just caught on a change there.
Okay, and NTU looking to keep that pressure on in that top third. Puck is down by the boards. Looks like Donnelly for UON just flicking it round the back. And Werner will... Oh, Werner's been clattered there. UON really struggling now to get it out of that, or their defensive third. And hopefully NTU can utilise something and they can get a goal back. Oh, and that was a cheeky play there, cheeky play. And he has got a real opportunity, but he's just clipped the goalkeeper and gone off. There's a great save there by Paul Watts. A backhand shot, a real nice effort. Paul Watts just stopping it there.
Goalkeeper getting a very important piece of that on the blocker.
It doesn't take much to divert this puck. I mean, in the pro leagues, this puck will be flying around at 100 miles an hour in a shot. I'm not quite seeing those sort of shots at this level yet. Who knows? Werner with some nice stick control, and Watts, I thought he was going to roll between his legs there.
Oh, very agile, drop down to that ice, get that 5-hole covered.
I imagine it's fairly difficult to move in such gigantic pads.
Yeah, very difficult job for the goalkeeper. You have to be very agile, very fit. As you've no doubt realised, they don't get any shift changes. They're out there the whole time.
It's a long 60 minutes and that puck rolling down the ice, and I don't think that U of N have realised the pressure coming there from NTU. And that's Bryson up against the boards. He's just been tripped over there by number 46, Stanislawski. They'll take it behind their net and look to start again. May have got away with that, and Stanislawski looking again for another cheeky check. And Gell cutting inside. He has been a player that Coach Clark has already mentioned to us about being a possible factor in this game. And that's stopped really well on the goal line there by UON. Again, try and look to make something. They've not really had much of an offensive possession in the last few minutes, other than that one shot there by Werner. And that will be heading back.
That's going to go all the way up the ice into the UON zone now.
So full shift change from UON. We'll see what they can bring to the table. A new line, fresh skates. So Stick winning the puck battle there, the face-off. NTU was just deflected there away from the NTU winger.
NTU doing a fantastic job with those face-offs, winning a lot of them in their favour.
Stick just trying to look to put that puck on the board and go around his man. Stick really putting the pressure on. See what he can bring, and it's a nice shot, but Thornton's just saved it.
Again, another instance where the defenceman pushing those attackers out wide, taking the easy angle away, just helping their goalkeeper out that little bit more.
So it'll be Harry Pilcher taking the face-off this time against Stick. And Stick again coming away with it. That's two in a row. He's doing pretty well there. Pilcher's going to pick it up there. Pilcher, of course, the man that went off the ice for 5 minutes when they had that little bit of a fight, if you can call it that. I suspect you've had some big fights being a defenseman.
Oh yes, you step in for the team when need be.
Playing the enforcer role.
Someone has to pick up the responsibility.
Of course they do. It's why most of these fans will have come out tonight to watch some fights.
That's it. It wouldn't make the sport quite the same without it.
It's an interesting concept, fighting in a sport like this. I know there's been talks of the pros about banning it, but it's never really gone through. I think it's very much a tradition, a part of the sport. obviously you see in some of the big heavyweight punch-ups, knockouts and all sorts. It's
You see it all. It is argued that it's an important part of the sport with such an intensive physical aspect. You know, you've got players skating around, essentially holding weapons in their hand. They need that way to vent off in a safe environment.
Yeah.
And controlled fighting helps that.
Of course it does. Gilbert stepping up for NTU this time on the face-off, and it looks like Dealey's going to pick up the loose puck and he's sent it straight into centre ice. Ooh, and he was looking for a big shot there, and he's got the rebound. Oh, and UON have got a breakaway, a 3-on-1 if they want to use it. But number 3, Alex Hyatt, with the opportunity, but Paul Watts just getting a foot to it, and what a wonderful save. And NTU looking to turn the tables with Gilbert. Oh, and it looks like Hyatt's just stopped that, and it may well be an offside call.
Yeah, UON just managed to stop that momentum on the blue line. NTU not managing to stop theirs. Offside play.
Alex Hyatt with a wonderful breakaway opportunity there, and Watts really getting a nice save, just stopping that third goal heading in. We've got less than a minute left of this period. UON going to come away with that face-off, and that's 77 Eva Harrison. She's been putting in a real shift so far this game. It's not the first time we've called that young lady's name. And Whitehead on the boards. Just a little bit of a scramble, but NTU have got away with it. Roberts had it for a second there. Oh, and a nice little physical check there by Roberts, but Dealey has picked it up. And a little bit of scuffling. Puck all over. Oh, and that was a big hit there on Whitehead. And NTU, if they won the opportunity, it's there. It's a 3-on-1. Dealey looking to shoot, but he's put it over the net. He perhaps should have passed that.
I feel that large hit on one of the female players is going to spark some repercussions in the later periods.
Yeah, Eva Harrison there just trying to put in a big hit of her own. Oh, and there's a few there. NTU's Eddie Bullock was the victim of Harrison's hit there. And that is the end of our first period. So we look forward to joining you in our second. The score stands at 2-0 to University of Nottingham. So, welcome back. We're just about to start the second quarter. The players have just come back onto the ice. You join us here with the University of Nottingham 2-0 up with 2 early scores. NTU looking to get back into their groove. They finished on a high, really pushing towards the goal, and didn't quite get there in the end. So we'll see what they come out with. Shortly go down to the ice. What did you make of that first period, Mitch?
Fantastic first period. You got some big hits thrown, 2 goals for one of the teams. You know, great start. It means that the pressure's going to be on all game now.
Yeah, absolutely. Those players really trying to get used to that checking rule and venting their frustrations early. So, head down for the face-off. UON coming away with decent position there. 79 for UON. Just coming around the back, James Brocklehurst. Just passing it back all the way to his defenseman or defensewoman. She is, Wong is on the break, trying to get a shot away. Easy save, really. But nice to see NTU getting away to a quick start. Wong getting down that side boarding, getting a shot away, on target as well.
That's it. It's important to get that pressure nice and early, assert that offensive dominance that they were showing last period.
Cameron Bryson was looking to get away. So UON they had it. Wong again behind the goal line, looking to get something away, and it's well covered up by UON. Wong still fighting for the puck. Looks like UON are going to come away with this. How would you play on a defensive, obviously being a defenseman, how would you play a high puck there, just bobbling around, causing a little bit of chaos? It looks like Wong again. So, looking to get this backhand shot off, hasn't quite come away with it. That'll be Bryson there on the boarding. 72, Porter picking it up again in the centre field, centre ice, sending it all the way back down. Bryson coming in with a check. Oh, and that was a big hit against the boards. Yeah, how would you be playing this as a defensive player? I mean, what are you looking for, a defensive scheme?
Well, judging by NTU's performance so far, they like trying to get that shot away, and that presence in front of the net has been very important.
Pilcher just taking, sorry to interrupt you there, Pilcher just taking all that away. Managed to stay on his feet all the way down the ice, but losing it at the end, and Stick with a quick shift is back up to the top end of the ice, on the boards, corner boarding, looking for a little bit of assistance. So, go for the wraparound shot, and Thornton has stopped it. At least he thinks he has.
That's it, covering that near side post, expecting the wraparound attempts. Wasn't sure he had it, but played the percentages, throws it well.
So yeah, defensive scheme. I mean, UON seem to be playing with sort of a tight four almost in the centre of the ice there. Is that how you'd expect them to play, or?
Yeah, they're playing that stereotypical box formation. They're going to keep two players closely knit in front of the goaltender, two out at the top of the circles, and they're just trying to keep that zone clear.
Stick there with the shot straight into Thornton's body, and another save. He keeps his clean sheet, his clean net. We haven't really had much opportunity since those first two goals to really see how NTU are going to play defensively. They've really been on the front foot, certainly for the last 15 minutes of ice time or so. Cheeky check, oh, and a big hit against the boards again. And they're coming down, thundering down. That's Alex Hire chasing down the puck, and he has managed to get it. Oh, and another big hit against the boards. They're going all over here. These players really trying to get that aggression out, but UON now a little bit behind with three players just coming in the centre ice with Stick and the shot, and Thornton saves again. So checking. We had a quick conversation over the period. We've got Hamza behind us in the commentary booth, and both you and he and you have said you've never quite seen anything so aggressive.
Yeah, I think they're really making the most of this game, and hopefully it'll spur these players on to elevate their game to possibly playing check-in leagues in the future. So it's a great taste for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely, particularly for the Mavericks having 4 or 5 squads spread across the league, and Thornton looking there just had his back leg in that goal zone, so was allowed to handle it. Yeah, obviously for the Mavericks, probably one of the biggest squads in the country with 5 squads. Got 2 in the non-checking leagues, and 2 in the checking leagues. Obviously these players, these young players, have been playing in those checking leagues. Yowen just looking to clear those lines. Gentle control there, getting a very distant shot away. So.
Those distant shots can trickle through.
Looking for that rolling puck, that rebound, bobble in front of the goaltender. Really, UON on the back foot early of this second period. Not yet a reward for NTU.
Such a difficult job for the goaltender. The ice naturally ever changing, getting carved up in front of that net. It can take awkward bounces at any point during the game.
NTU really packing the pressure on there, and UON having to use 3 players just to get the puck back and out of their zone. And it looks like Eva Harrison thundering down the ice to try and win a puck in the offensive third, but it has been cleared by Boone. Lucas Boone of NTU. Another little bit of checking, little bit of scuffling around, and Eva Harrison just getting back up to her feet, or back onto her skates.
We have an icing call going all the way the other end of the ice.
So Paul Watts, he's had a quiet start in comparison to the last period. Obviously, by this point, he was certainly one goal down. 4 more minutes' time, he'd have been 2 down. So he's, I'm sure he'll be relieved, to say the least. Thornton just clearing those lines there. Sending the puck all the way down the boards, and it looks like number 11 for NTU.
Ooh. Delayed penalty here. There we go.
Now that was a little bit of dangerous play there.
It was. We're going to see the second boarding call of the game. I expect to see quite a few more of these as non-check-in players. The time to hit and when not to hit, still a bit blurry for them.
So we stand corrected, just getting a better look at number 11's jersey for NTU. It's not actually Sean Wright, it's Ross Wilkinson Borum. We're not quite sure what number Sean Wright is playing in, if he is playing at all. NTU winning that face-off, and they'll send that puck up the boards. And we're getting told we've got double numbers, 2 number 11s playing. So it was Boren that went off, but Wright is in the players box, so he will also be on, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And that's one clearing the lines. So as you may have noticed, another big hit there against the boards. And I've got Mr. Ford here shaking his head at how aggressive this game's been. And it looks like a breakaway there. And Porter looking to find somebody, but no assistance. And then breakaway again, back up the ice, and that is number 12, Harry Pilcher, putting it in the corner, sliding with celebration, dropping his stick, and he is all over, but he will be very, very happy with that. An easy, easy gift of a goal for him. Gets the easy breakaway, nobody in front of him, takes it all the way down, and really an easy effort. Perhaps Paul Watt should have done better, but a difficult thing for a goalie or a goaltender to stop in that situation.
I think NTU getting a little complacent there, forgetting the man down, pinching up to the offense instead of just playing that defensively. Got caught out on the change, and wow, they got punished for it.
Yeah, U of N really, once they got that breakaway, really capitalising on that power play. And of course, because it was only a 2-minute, and that was a goal line scramble, and it has stayed out of the net. Because it was a power play, a 2-minute penalty, NTU will have a man back on the ice. And that was McNally trying to get the shot away on his crossing of the net. Didn't quite get anything off, and Thornton will kill it, just trying to settle this game back down. So, thunderous hits. A few early goals.
That's it. It's definitely the making for an exciting game.
So see if NTU can capitalise on anything that they can. That they've brought so far. They've had the pressure on for most of the third, and that UON, despite it being a power play, was really against the grain, and that was looking like a long wraparound attempt. Stick, and McNally has managed to keep the puck. Like somebody, and a long attempt from 45's NTU, George Mangum. Both changes, both shifts will be swapping.
Referee having a word with one of the players there. I feel what he's telling him is that with a broken stick, it should be dropped immediately, otherwise it's malfunctioning equipment and should be grounds for a penalty.
So he's got away with one there then.
Definitely got away with one there.
Coach Guess, I think, just having a quiet word to his player. Just swap the stick. Just swap the stick. So Forbes just coming onto the ice there, and he will go in for the face-off. NTU really doing well in the face-offs. They've come away with more than most. Just again failing to capitalise on it. They did get the shot away, but it wasn't really a troubling shot for Thornton. UON are going to come away with that one. Oh, and it is a goal line scramble. It has gone in. A deflection there of number 7, Dan Gilbert. UON were looking to clear their lines, cleared it to the wrong place, and Dan Gilbert just finished it off. And that's what we were talking about earlier, looking for those rebounds, for those opportunities, and you know that loose puck, and he's found it there.
That's it. I think UON forgetting the players behind them, focusing on the play in the corner, backdoor pass, goalkeeper doesn't stand a chance.
So, we mentioned earlier that the Mavericks are made up of a number of teams. They haven't done so well this season, well, not as well as usual. They won a number of tier competitions last year. Their Mavericks C and their Mavericks E team, one of the bigger clubs. But in the past, they've been a real powerhouse of the sport. Typically, their first team squad. Have you ever had the opportunity to play against them?
I have played against Nottingham, and yes, a year's gone by, very, very strong side. But as is such in the university leagues, players graduate and you're only eligible to play during the time of study. So it's a constant changing team. Some good, some bad years.
Yeah, it makes things very difficult. UON again on the back foot. Going in there. And it looks like Gilbert has got another one. 2 quick scores from Dan Gilbert again on that loose puck. Thornton was scrambling for the puck. Came in high, he didn't quite clear his line. Found Dan Gilbert and bang, in it goes. 3-2 University of Nottingham, and this game is on. It must be fairly difficult in that situation for a goaltender to scrambling around. You've obviously got limited movement due to your pads. You know, what can you do as a defenseman to help in that situation?
Well, the rule of thumb is that the goalkeeper is there to save the initial shot. Once they commit to a certain position, whether it going up high, going down low, as you said, very difficult to change position from there. So it's the defenseman's job to stop those rebounds. Ideally, your goalkeeper should never receive a second shot on net in a row.
So really a slip up in defence there for U of N to allow that goal. And NTU coming again, that's 72, and he's got another, and that's 72, Porter, straight in. Not a chance for the goaltender. Another quick breakaway, and we are all tied up. And this game is on. These fans in this ice stadium, this arena, Motor Point Arena, are absolutely buzzing. U of N players looking for some support for the fans, but really I think it's a roll pink tide in here. Coach Guest will not be impressed, allowing 3 quick goals in less than 5 minutes, in less than 4 minutes, really. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Well, it can happen as soon as the team gets that second win, that taste for blood. Keeping that momentum is very, very important. It has the negative effect on the other team as well. Putting their heads down, letting them steamroll on.
Yeah, they will be down in the dumpster, just looking down at the players' blocks. U of N heads really down, not quite sure what happened, a little bit shell-shocked. NTU, absolutely electric. So we'll see what U of N can do. Last year's second team, I believe, finished 4-3 to U of N. So we're already at 3 goals apiece. Let's see what else they can bring. Stanislawski there, picking up the puck. They'll be looking to slow the pace of NTU down, but again, already in the defensive third. really need to clear their lines and get something away, or just find a little bit of gust of wind themselves to try and break the sequence, really. And NTU again have it in the centre, that neutral zone, and they are all over them. Thornton just slowing the pace of game there.
Like I said, very important for UON to slow this pace, try and keep this momentum that NTU have gathered, try and recompose and get back on the offence.
Absolutely, the big Mo in very much the Pinks' favour right now. So I suspect Luke Thornton in net. Oh, and he's got to try and stop another one here, but UON that time have managed to get in front of the puck and take it away. 55 there, Jacob Werner again, a man we've mentioned on several occasions, and there's a little bit of scuffling around there. The officials reluctant to do anything. And Thornton will end that series of play. Yeah, for Thornton, he must be in a shell shock. You know, 3 quick goals in sort of less than 5 minutes. He won't quite know what's going on, will he?
That's it. He's definitely in a state of confusion, especially letting the goal off the first shot as well.
Higher trying to put the pressure on there in the neutral zone. And that's Higher there, and he's had a couple breakaway opportunities, but he's stopped there quickly. Oh, and one with a big collision with Werner. And Higher's going to run that puck down, and it is going to go back for icing.
Referee just having a quiet word about finishing the check after the play there.
Stick there with another face-off win. He's really done well on those face-offs, and he's still got the puck. And Boone, the defenseman on the back line. Oh, and he's got the shot away, and that was a very high puck, just clipping the glass and staying in. Taking a deflection off number 5, Hugh Pullman of University of Nottingham. Stick in a nice position. Another clattering there, Pullman and Stick. Stick maintaining the puck control. Again, Stick in the right place. Oh, just pushing him down, and they're gonna have a little bit. Oh, I thought there was going to be another fight there between Stick and Werner. And McNally, in the meantime, getting this shot up straight in the body of Luke Thornton. Tempers must flare when you're down on the ice. I can't say I've ever had the opportunity. So you must have been in that situation more than one occasion.
More times than I care to admit.
Part and parcel. Oh, and he's found his teammate in good field position. Gilbert taking the shot. Nice grab, nice take there by Luke Thornton. He'll be happy with that. He saved a few shots now, so he'll be trying to find his confidence.
Yeah, despite what we were saying earlier about trying to stop NTU's momentum, it certainly feels like it's coming in their favour now. They're really utilising that space at that time, working that puck around really well.
Yeah, trying to finding their groove a bit more now. UON really haven't been in that offensive third very often. NTU looking to clear the lines. It's Whitehead passing it down the boarding. Porter will clear it back up and around the boarding. Spencer there. trying to flick that puck across and get it out of that defensive zone. And again, you can see the numbers absolutely flying. NTU's players absolutely flying to the puck like flies to the ball.
That's it. Very important to win those 50-50 pucks.
And NTU nearly lost it, but have very quickly returned. And from what I've seen so far, and I don't know if you'd agree, despite the 3 goals that were really giveaways, NTU have really been on that front foot, really quite aggressive. And
yeah, I think they got a real good talking to in the changing rooms. Definitely came out with fire in the eyes.
so what sort of things will the coach be saying in 2-0 down after the first period? What would you as a coach be saying to your players?
Well, I ideally would try and trigger response of what we've seen. Getting that first goal very important, turning the tables.
Sorry to interrupt, Pilch has got the opportunity, and it's in! It's in! What a shot off the crossbar. I don't think he intended it to go that high. But Paul Watts will be a little bit gutted, and he's had a hell of a game. Harry Pilcher there with another goal. So been informed behind us our statistician that is Harry Pilcher's 3rd goal. So that is a hat-trick for that young man. Although our sources, Mr. Matt Walker, and UON nearly getting another one, our source Matt Walker not always the most reliable with his stats. And again, really another gifted goal there. NTU, giving it up, really packing the pressure on, and UON just finding a route through and straight in.
That's it. You can't give a talented shooter like that any time or space.
Oh, and another good shot and a nice deflection there by Paul Watts. And he really has shown so far today that he has that talent. And he's really been a key factor for UON. Higher just switching on. Oh, and I think he just slipped there, but nearly taken out the UON player. And that's Higher. Higher's had 1 or 2 breakaway opportunities. Paul Watts just flicking that away from his net. Higher again, got the opportunity, was looking for the wraparound. And Wong, trying to find Wong there. There's going to be a little bit of fight on the board. 68 there. Trabai, 69 even for NTU. And another slip. And as you said, between the first and second period, you can tell some of these aren't the best on the skates, and but they're really giving it their all, aren't they? I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, that's it. Skating takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, and it's fantastic to see these guys give it a real good go and playing such a fantastic game.
And that's Thomas Gell there, looking for his teammate on the other side of the rink, but didn't quite get it off. And Bryson's managed to pick up the puck and taken down as he tried to get something off. And Higher, who again seems to be a fairly quick skater, but they're not the toughest, just getting beaten there. Getting pushed off his feet.
Bit of miscommunication between the referees there. One call offside, the other one waved it off. But the whistle's been blown, so it will be a face-off.
So McNally, Stick and Clark coming back on the ice. McNally and Stick really had some really been effective players for NTU. And there goes Eva Harrison and Whitehead. Names we've mentioned on more than one occasion. Eva Harrison taking the face off, and she has come away with it and got the opportunity, but just overshot the puck. Stick managing to get something away. It's going to go all the way behind the goal net for Boone. McNally got the puck in his defensive third. Beaten 2 now, and he's going to get the opportunity but well covered up by Yuwen, and and he's passed it back, and a great stop there by Luke Thornton. And it was Clark there with the shot, but I have to say, Stick did very, very well to carry that puck all the way down and get a very clear pass off.
Fantastic individual effort, fantastic presence of mind to see that pass right in the high slot, straight to the tape.
Would you have gone for the wraparound?
Oh, I like to make it look fancy. Whether right or wrong, always go for the wraparound.
Stick going again, and he has looked for the backhanded wraparound that time, but couldn't quite get it off. Wasn't quite close enough to the net to make it work. Yuwen's defensive players, as you said earlier, boxing in and really not allowing any entrance for that puck. So you've got just over 5 minutes left of this second period. Stick winning that face-off, but a mistimed hit. Looks like NTU have the opportunity and got the shot off, but it goes off wide. That was Porter with the shot. Defenseman not quite getting anything off. And another shot, another save by Luke Thornton. That was McNally there with the shot. So Gilbert comes back onto the ice, multiple goal scorer. 2 goals for him so far, and Dealey as well. Dealey coming back on, he's been effective when he's been on the ice. NTU trying to get that shot off on the face-off. Just playing along the boards. Forbes has found centre ice, found something. Is he going to get? He's got the shot off and it just deflects straight onto Paul Watts. NTU are going to try and clear their lines, and Spencer there just struggling to find the puck. It's gone all the way across here, and it's going to be a little bit of a race. Looks like Pink, the NTU team, may have something, but they're going to scramble up against the board, and Donnelly comes away with it, the bigger body player. How important is it to have those bigger body players on the team?
You know, it's definitely important to have those big bodies, that big physical presence on the ice. Not only is it a deterrent,
just
but
slipping there.
Definitely goes hand in hand with the full contact sport.
Do you find the quicker teams are harder to play against? The quicker skaters, the smaller skaters?
Quicker skaters, of course, have the advantage. They make the space, they can get in the right places. With a big hitting heavy team, they can get caught out, and it certainly slows them down. There's only so many hits you can take in the corners before you decide it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Look to pass that out wide. Have got it on the board. Luke Stanislawski trying to get it out of his defensive zone. Werner comes and back up as support, trying to take it all the way around, but he's missed the puck. NTU with the opportunity. Thornton will stop that play. You can see there, perhaps showing the experience, trying to go all the way around the boards and just missed that puck.
UON nearly making that same mistake, leaving that player unmarked in the high slot. Shame that pass didn't get all the way through.
Werner, another player we've mentioned on several occasions, he's had a good game. He's looking for a long shot there and nearly got it. Slightly wide of the mark.
Sometimes very important to get that early shot off, give your players time to get into the zone and set up.
Lucas Boone will look to pass that off. UN covering that up quickly with ease that time. It's Hollingsworth, Amy Hollingsworth, 27. On the centre ice trying to find something, and UN, that's higher. Just playing a little bit in that neutral zone, nobody really finding anything there. UN, a little bit of a mark. Stanislawski with the puck. Oh, backwards into the boards. And NTU will be looking for something here, and that's Sam Clark with the puck now. Just missing looks like that's going to be an easy one for Luke Thornton. So I think it's fair to say that first period a little bit slower. Players now seem to have had their nerves settled. For many it will be the first time, despite playing in this arena, to have 2,000 fans in front of them.
That's it, nerve-wracking experience. Takes a period to get it out of the system.
Have you had the opportunity to play in front of this many?
I played my first ever tournament in this arena, and what a fantastic experience.
Many turn out to watch.
Yeah, not too many short of this crowd here.
Nice turnout for you.
That's it.
And it really does pack the nerves up.
Oh, it really does.
Pullman just flicking that foot away. That puck away with his foot. Gell just waiting. That was smart by Gell. Knowing where the blue line was, just waiting for the puck to pass. And UON again with a breakaway. And that's going to go wide. Really a wasted breakaway opportunity for UON.
Yes. Certainly with the odd man rush, you want to try and utilise those players as much as possible.
UON haven't spent much time in that offensive third, but they get the opportunity. Paul Watts having to come out from his goal line to clear the puck away. It's like Roberts there.
Great decision making there. Didn't want to risk dropping and freezing the play. Play it into the corner.
Oh, and he's just tripped. Now, are they going to call that an offside on Bryson? I think they are. Yeah, really starting to find their skates now. They're really starting to move. The game pace has really sped up. UON really haven't missed many of those breakaway opportunities. They haven't had many, but they've capitalised on them.
That's it. They're very important, those breakaways. They don't come too often. You really need to make the most of them.
See if NTU can make it. I think there's 45 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and it's a bobbled puck. And it looks like McNally. Oh, and he's missed the open net. It's Dex McNally. Luke Thornton on the floor, face on the ice. And McNally couldn't quite clear him and keep it under the bar. UON will be looking just to end this quarter now. And Thornton again having to stretch to make a save. NTU really trying to pack that pressure on with 12 seconds to go. And McNally again, oh, and he's put that wide. And Stick will collect. You've got 7 seconds, 6 seconds on the clock. Stick looking to find something. Will he get the shot off? Less than a second. Oh, and the buzzer is gone. That is the end of the second period. Stick missing the opportunity of that shot. What an exciting second quarter, second period.
What a very exciting second period.
Makes a change. So we leave you at the end of the second period, 4-3 to the University of Nottingham, with NTU scoring 3 goals in that second period. So welcome back to the third period now. UON 4-3 to the good. Going down to the face-off ever so shortly. And be Pilcher for UON and number 22, Ollie Stick. Stick has come away with the face-off. And he's going to get the shot and goal. And Thornton has just kept it out, going between his legs. Nice early play there by Stick, looking for something.
That's it. Once again, like a bat out of hell, making that offensive presence known.
Some nice play there early from NTU. And that puck is going to stay. UON coming away with it. And
Not quite enough behind it for an icing call.
That's Thomas Gill there skating up the ice, finding McNally in open ice. See what McNally can do. Oh, and that was a thunderous shot hitting the glass. Not quite on target. I wouldn't like to have been sat in front of that.
No, they certainly come at you fast.
Brocklehurst there looking for a cheeky check. Yuwen. Oh, and that's well stopped in the middle there by 45, George Mangum. Ending that breakaway very quickly because he nearly ended up as a 2-on-1. Well, McNally was lining up that check, didn't quite come off for him. Hyatt's still got that puck. No support really from Yuwen, and he has come off his feet big time. I think the difference really between NTU on offense and Yuwen is that, oh, and Stig's got it in front of net and saved Luke Thornton. Yeah, the real big difference is when they get going, Yuwen don't seem to have much support out in front or alongside, and NTU, the pink, are straight down the ice. There's just a shift there. Oh, and a nice shot by McNally. How crucial is support here? You look here, Hires down the ice with possession and only one player inside that top third.
Yeah, UON not really using the ice here. Seem almost lazy staying in that defensive zone. Whether they've chosen to just keep the lead and play passively, yet to see.
Again, yeah, it really seems to be Hire that's looking to get down the ice. Blown the whistle for something. Will be a full shift change there. Gilbert versus Harrison on the face-off. No clear winner there. Dealey coming down. Whitehead just clearing the lines across that blue. Kane Harrison trying to find something, but no support. 3 pink players around it. And Dealey has just got away with that and trying to get the shot off, but it is wide. Pass looking for Dealey there, and it's going to go all the way down the ice. And it has been waved off.
Icing call waved off because the defensive team didn't make a good enough effort towards the puck, didn't keep their feet moving. If you coast towards the zone, the referee's going to wave it off.
Nally picking up the puck. It's a 2-on-2, and he's got the shot off, and Luke Thornton, but there is a deflection in the favour of the pink, and Stick just not finding the puck in time. Don't think McNally has said he's onside there. And that was a well-timed run there from that blue line to time it so that he was onside. It was ever so close though.
Great coordination there from NTU, coming in as a unit. As you've mentioned before, the support seems to be in their favour so much up and down this ice.
It's the first face-off Sticks really lost. And Thomas Gell ending that possession of UON very quickly. Nally skating round the boards. Gonna find his defence woman at the back there. Oh, and he's tried to kick the puck, and over he goes with a big cheer from the fans in the crowd. It's a breakaway opportunity and another UON player down. Just on some of these breakaways, just seeing the inexperience. But as you rightly said, the skating is probably the hardest part of this game.
Certainly.
Oh, and a full defensive shift there from NTU. Looking to clear their lines. Get some fresh legs on the ice. And that puck will be going back. looking at the shots on goal in front of us. We've got it on the scoreboard in front of us for the last couple periods. You see 35 shots on goal for NTU with only 10 for UON, so you can really see UON not going aggressive at all and just looking for those breakaway opportunities, which it looks like they may have found one here, but again stopped quickly by NTU. Dealey just skating up the rink. Porter and Dealey combining there. Porter has found Gilbert out wide. Of course, Gilbert 2 scores already. NTU covering the ball, the puck. It's going to be Porter again, playing some physical
2-on-1 here.
Oh, it has got in, and that's Gilbert. And that is another hat-trick player on the ice tonight. That's Gilbert with 3 and Harry Pilcher with 3. Gilbert, wide open ice, and he found nothing but net. Luke Thornton looking disappointed, perhaps not with himself, but perhaps with his defenseman.
That's it. He shouldn't be facing odd man rushes like that. He's got to focus on the shot and the pass at the same time. Makes his life very difficult.
And that makes it 4-all. So, 14 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be an interesting closer, and Wong has managed, oh, and it's just gone wide there. Wong still keeping the puck. And that is going to go all the way back down for the icing call. So we will be going into UON's defensive third for yet another face-off.
That's it. Another desperation icing. Keeping the defensive shift out there longer than necessary, just making their lives difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said earlier, NTU really flocking to that puck, offering support wherever they can. And Bryson, deflected back towards the goal off Donnelly's stick. We'll go back for another face-off. So for those of you that may have been watching some of the Olympic hockey, there's a few different rules with international hockey that there is to this level of the sport. One being the icing call is automatic, so once it crosses the red line at the end, that is it, that is icing. It goes back, and it looks like Eva Harrison causing a little bit of trouble there.
A few words, just a gentle reminder, please don't spray my goalie in the face.
And rightly so. In this level here at Bucks, we play with a hybrid system, which is slightly different. Somewhere in the middle, isn't it?
That's it.
Some levels they play with a touching call, so a player has to touch the puck dead.
The elimination of touch icing at this level was to prevent injury, really. As we've mentioned before, skating isn't the best here, and leaving the decision that late towards the boards can end in injury.
Of course. Oh, and a shot off, and it's just gone wide. So just to explain the hybrid system, if you would.
Of course, the difference with the hybrid icing is that the decision is made by the
big hit
referees.
against the boards. Sorry to interrupt you there. And there is, oh, we've got Brocklehurst there. A little bit of a scrap, but Brocklehurst walks away. 68 there. 69, Traby. He's going off the ice. He's not happy at all. Brocklehurst walking away. Smart move. Yeah, so just explaining that hybrid system.
Yeah, so the difference with the hybrid icing is that the referees make that decision a little bit earlier. So they try to aim for the hash marks, The first player to the puck is determined by who will reach the hash marks first, and therefore bringing the distance between the boards and the puck that little bit further. It gives the players chance to stop.
So that penalty there on NTU's Trevor will be a minor call, a roughing penalty, so it'll only be a 2-minute play. McNelly looking to get the shorthand goal, get the shot off. Well covered up by Stanislawski. Up against the boards, trying to find something with no assistance at all from UON. And sticks come in for NTU, and he has come away with it, and they've gone down to the ice. And Stick will be looking to get something away. Oh, and Higher coming out of nowhere. Despite being short-handed, NTU really on top. UON looking for that breakaway power play goal.
NTU nearly being caught out again on their last power play. UON managed to capitalise and get that power play goal.
Nice spin move there by Stick. Caught out nearly with the defensive shift and a big hit there from Dealey. I am here.
Both players losing track of that puck. Shaken by that big contact.
Werner trying to find an open player in space, but Porter's come away with it. He'll just look to get that puck down the ice. Stanislawski will fetch it with Porter. Oh! Somewhat of an unnecessary check there, I think. I feel.
It's quite established that you follow your check through. At that speed, it's safer to try and follow the body onto the boards than stop right in front. There's a brief window after the defensive player lets that puck go that you can still hit them.
Will be Tabby back on the ice, looking for some revenge. Gilbert's still got it. Head over heels.
Physicality of this period seems to be ramped up.
Yeah, I think they're really enjoying the opportunity to make these hits, to make these checks. And Stick looking to get that puck across the ice. And Langham getting the shot off, but it was a slow shot, an easy stop for Luke Thornton.
As you can see, once again, NTU ready for that rebound. No support from UON in front of that goal.
No, that can't be tactics. That's surely just lack of hustle, lack of effort.
It was a moment of poor positioning, certainly.
Perhaps they're saving their reserves for the last 10 minutes, which we have just headed into. Werner trying to find Higher. He has done. Ooh. And Higher has eventually gone to the floor with another jeer from what appears to be more of an NTU strong crowd. NTU just slowing the play down here slightly. It's Wilkinson Borum all the way up the boards. Going to try and find somebody across the ice, and he hasn't quite done it, but there's a goal line scramble. U of N have come away with it. Werner just flicking it back up the ice with a backhand. And that's Hannah Driscoll trying to get something away. Again, Wilkinson Borum finding some space, but not getting anything off, looking for that pass inside to Wong. Boone will be skating back to try and flick it up the boards. Again, Boone in plenty of space. It looks like a Mexican wave has now started in the crowd.
Great decision there. Freeze the puck, keep it out of danger.
So this is a heck of a barn for these ladies and gentlemen to be playing in, is it not?
Oh, certainly. If it's good enough for an elite side such as the Panthers, it's a real privilege to be able to play here.
Yeah, train here week in, week out, play here week in, week out. What a great opportunity. And we've, like I say, we've seen around 2,000 attendees tonight for a university game. The first team varsity game is actually the biggest ice hockey game outside of or the biggest varsity ice hockey game outside of the US. And it does, and I believe it did fill out last season, which was a full crowd of just over 10,000, which is somewhat impressive for a Buck side.
Very impressive, especially for the UK hockey scene.
Stick just losing control there. And getting the shot away was Gell, but it's bounced off, and it looks like Thornton's got it away. See a full shift here for UON.
If you notice, the referees have taken the face-off outside of the zone instead of keeping it in. That's because they made a man in the crease call. So they decided to give UON some territorial advantage.
A little bit of a scuffle there. So what, with the Olympics, the Winter Olympics going at the moment, do you see an influx of players? Obviously, ice hockey sport in general has a wonderful capacity to bring people together. We've seen North Korea and South Korea coming together in multiple disciplines, including the hockey team. For that, it's a real heartwarming feeling. But do you see an effect? Do you gain extra players during that period of time, or any extra interest?
The same as any winter sport, when the events such as the Winter Olympics are on, yeah, you do see an influx of players. However, ice hockey, it's a difficult sport to get into. Without the equipment and the opportunity, it's not a sport you can just pick up, unfortunately. But teams such as the Mavericks, with non-check-in and check-in teams in the university, they create fantastic opportunity for all sorts of players to try and get into the sport, and hopefully from this point start picking up recreational or potentially semi-professional leagues.
Absolutely, Gilbert with the opportunity, but he's just flipped it off his own heel, really. So we've got 7 minutes left of this final third period. Will we see another goal? Porter with the opportunity. Trying to pass it back. Nothing really. Gell looking to get something off. UON just trying to clear the lines. Porter still managing to keep that puck across to Gell. Didn't quite get the strike off as he went down to the ice. McNally having to come in to get across the ice on that defensive shift. Shifting just at the wrong point, but he has managed to win the puck back. And Gell, well, it's a 2-on-1 the wrong way around, but Gell's going to get something off here. And it just takes a deflection off UON's 26, Gina Pritchard. Stick maintaining possession, looking for the wrap-around pass.
Great stop there.
Well read by Thornton there. McNally and Gell right in the mix for that opportunity. McNally really not putting enough conviction behind that shot. Are there many teams that play with a mixed ladies and gents on the ice at the same time across the league?
Yeah, all of the university leagues have a mixed gender team. There are some with women's specific team. One of the bigger teams being Cambridge, Women's Blues. Oxford have another fantastic women's side. However, there is no stipulation that they have to be separate sex teams, not at university level.
They are more than capable of defending themselves, and some of these ladies have put in absolutely monstrous hits, Eva Harrison being one of those people.
It's fantastic to see.
That's Murray Whitehead trying to get up the ice, just taking a little pop shot.
Great stick work from the goalie there, cleared the danger.
Bit of a high puck there, but Wong's got it back under control. Just going down to the ice, looking for a tripping, or a hooking call there, but nothing coming of it. Stanislawski Farmer for UON, just coming back on the ice, as well as Eva Harrison. Really showing what she can do tonight. Physical player. Just puck in the neutral zone at the moment, but it looks like Murray Whitehead's going to come away with it straight into the stick of NTU number 11, Ross Wilkinson-Borum. And that puck is going to go straight off the ice, but it's going to be waved off. It's Stanislawski coming round. Luke Stanislawski. Werner has some space if he wants to use it. Eva Whitehead moving up the left wing. No real power, no real finesse on that pass, and Wong's come away with it. Werner almost taking out the knees of Wong on that. Don't think it was intentional. I think he just tripped.
No, it didn't look malicious to me.
Ooh!
Put his heart and soul into that one.
Absolutely did. Farmer there trying for the big shot that didn't quite come off for him. And NTU getting that puck back in great position, and Wong has been taken down. And that puck has gone over to the boards. Nothing called by the officials there. Clearly felt it was clean play, and they have waved off the offside to boot. NTU are going to pick that up fairly easily. No real pressure on them that time. That puck's going to go across to Porter. Porter's not going to run it down. He's going to wait and see. Swing a stick. This game seems to, this period seems to have been played more in the neutral zone than anywhere else. We saw a lot in UON's defensive third for the first two periods. No team really finding, other than that one NTU goal, and this breakaway. Gilbert looking for fourth, and it has gone in. It's deflected. It's deflected. I thought Thornton had it, but Gilbert with numero 4. I don't know Spanish. I was trying, but it didn't quite come off. Goal number 4, and he's had an exceptional game.
What a great goal. Just shows how if you stick with your own play, shoot your own rebounds, get rewarded, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and he's really taken his opportunities well tonight. That is his, I believe, no, it's not his fourth, that's his hat-trick. I even got that wrong. I'm sure that's not his fourth. Not doing very well. Where's my statistician gone? Oh, he's down. Well, we're not really sure what he's doing. But, I think NTU players just...
UON attempting to appeal this goal. I'm not sure what grounds they're trying.
Luke Thornton not happy, but it does make it 5-4 with just over 2 minutes left. Stick with the hit. Pullman did manage to stay on his feet there. Stick looking for another. Oh, he had McNally. He couldn't quite get something off. McNally just missing out. That's going to come back. Gell's going to look to work something. Stick across the ice. You're really going to have to get the skates on now to find something. 1 minute, 45 seconds left of this period. Third and final period. And that's going to go back for an icing call.
Referees calling UON out on a bad change. Pulling the players back off the bench that attempted to change on the icing.
Worth an attempt though.
That's it, always worth a go.
So, yeah, not sure if that was Gilbert's third or fourth, but certainly his third. He's played well either way.
That's it.
He is in for this face-off, and he has come away with it. It's gone to Dealey's stick. Kilcher putting a hand down. The issue is, if Gilbert scores again in this final minute 30, I don't know whether to call a fourth goal or a fifth goal. That's the problem I've got. You may hear it in the background. A lot of jeering, a lot of cheering. We are just under 1 minute left of this game. UON really need to dig deep and find something just to tie it up. 45 seconds left on the clock. NTU perhaps will be looking to kill the clock. Got possession in their own third. UON now trying to draw to that puck. They're going to be tangled up on the boards. 3 NTU players.
UON making a split-second decision, pulling the goalie off to get that extra offensive player. And it appears the coach has decided to keep the goaltender off for the duration of the 17 seconds.
So, 17 seconds on the clock.
6 players out for UON, last-ditch attempt.
Official's not, I think he's just trying to figure skate down the ice and trying for the triple Sal count. Oh,
are they going to shoot at the open net?
8 seconds left on the clock. It's all tangled, even the official's taking a check. Now, the whistle. The game has ended. The clock's at 0. And they have called the game. I thought with the officials being in the mix there, they'd blown it with 2 seconds left on the clock, but they've let it fly. And NTU absolutely over the moon to say they were 2-0 down in that first period, to come back and win 5-4. Quite incredible, really.
Incredible, fairy tale. 2 goals down, very difficult position.
And they will be absolutely over the moon. Last year their seconds team lost to this UON side. But as your third and final period has ended, the game has ended. Your score with us tonight is NTU 5, Nottingham Trent University 5, University of Nottingham 4. I'd like to thank Mitch for joining me in the box tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thoroughly, been a fantastic game and a fantastic experience being here with you.
Thank you. Not very often people say that about me, but hey ho. As these players shake hands, we will now pass back over to the wonderful Matt Walker.
So a thrilling finish to this Battle of Nottingham this afternoon. Final score, NTU 5 and the University of Nottingham 4. Going to be joined by, and indeed here they come. I've got our commentary team just joining us now. Come in, George and Mitch.
Sorry, I'm somewhat mesmerised by the Zamboni.
I know you love the Zamboni. So gents, what do we make of that?
We start with Mitch.
Oh, what a fantastic game. Very well-spirited game, for saying how physical it was. You know, nice to see all the teams shaking hands at the end. Just shows that we're all here for a bit of fun.
Obviously, you're a bit more experienced with the ice hockey front than we are. Is it a usual occurrence when a team goes up by 2 goals, and particularly in the first period, and University of Nottingham looked like they were dominating early on, then those 3 quick goals in the second period for Trent seemed to pull it back? Is that a usual occurrence in the game?
No, it is quite unheard of to get 3 goals in that succession, but you know, it can happen, and once you get that second wind, keep the momentum, and they really capitalised upon it.
So as far as I was looking, University of, and again from your perspective, George, Uni of seemed to be have the ascendancy in that first period. Two quite quality goals actually, and you saw the Trent heads go down. What was your take from the commentary position?
Yeah, I think for the first period there, UON really got out the blocks quick, but after sort of 10 minutes or so, the game sort of started to settle. NTU found that groove, and I think from then on in, NTU really had the front foot, and they were all over, as we said during commentary. NTU seemed to be really flocking to the puck, supporting each other. UON really not sending many more than 2 or 3 men forward into that offensive third.
And Mitch, can you see anything from a strategy point of view that Uni of might have got wrong in that second period to allow those 3 quick goals?
Well, typically you would see that once the team is ahead that they would play more defensively, but Uni of, they were hungry for it. They wanted to maintain that lead and actually extend it at times. It didn't pay off for them. Couple of defensive mistakes, but you know, you live and learn, and that's what they went for this type of game.
So obviously the Battle of Knots is a big thing for all the players on the ice. From what we saw there, 2 players with multiple goals to their name tonight. Just talk us through a couple of those.
What an experience for those players. They must love it to have the opportunity to play in an arena such as this and to come away with such a result. And I feel that their individual effort really spurred on their teams as well, which, you know, it helped to have such an electrifying game.
It was down on paper, George, as a home game for the Uni of, although it's pretty much the crowd suggested otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd very much seemed to be a pink tide tonight. Just going back quickly to your point there on the goals, yeah. I still don't know, and I've still not had clarity or clarification whether Gilbert scored 3 or 4 goals. But he did well, he played well. But certainly tonight, you could hear the jeers and the boos every time a UON player went down, and it was very much 2,000 fans. I've seen 2,000 fans from the NTU side.
You mentioned earlier on, I think both of you mentioned up in the commentary booth in between periods about the fact that some of these players won't be used to the physical nature of tonight with the check-in. Is that, am I right to say that a couple of them maybe took their aggression out and almost got some of the timing wrong a little bit because they're not used to playing such a physical game?
Yeah, I mean, I think at times it maybe made for a little bit of a comical game for certainly in that first period there. There were checks that weren't quite followed through, as Mitch pointed out. There were checks that seemed to come out of nowhere and everything else in between. I'm not quite sure how you felt about it, but you certainly said it was more aggressive than you were used to.
Yeah, of course, and I feel that because they're not used to playing this checking game, they really made the most of it, trying to throw as many as they could. And as you say, not always getting the timing right, but it was a good effort and it was a good, clean game. So no one got injured, and that's always a good result.
Well, it appears that somebody's forgot to put another coin in the meter, and the lights seem to be going out rapidly. We had hoped to get an interview with the winning coach, Coach Clark, and possibly one of the players. So we'll see whether or not we can bring that to you shortly. Whether or not we do that in the pitch black or not, I'm not sure.
I'm still looking at this Zamboni. I'm keen.
But nevertheless, it's been a fantastic evening of hockey here at the Motorpoint Arena, as looks like the coin has found its way to the meter. We'll bid you farewell tonight, so my thanks to Mitch. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mitch.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thanks as always to George.
Thank you.
And we will see you very soon with Onside Productions for our next event, whatever that may be. All right, good night from the Motorpoint Arena.